I'm the bumps and bruises doctor, the expert they seek. When the rough tumble playing leaves a scar on leg or cheek, I'm the rapid, certain cure for the wounds of every fall. I'm the pain eradicator. I can always heal them all.
Both of his hands were at the ends of arms that were willing to help.
And he was just a good, all-around person.
He made sure that you knew that if you had anything that was hurting, you know, come see me, I take care of you.
My father was born in a little village called Thun in Bern, Switzerland.
His father had 6 children, and he wasn't making much money, so he decided he would emigrate to the United States. So he came over on a ship, and he went to Dixon, Illinois, then later on to Freeport, where he set up his house. And then he sent for his wife and the kids, and so 1 year later they came over.
They basically wanted a better life, and they felt that America was the land of opportunity.
While he was in high school and afterward, he had a natural talent for taking care of the bumps and bruises of people on the field.
The job of being a trainer and being hands-on and healing bodies was so important to him that I think if he had had the money and the ability to go to college and become a doctor, he would have done that.
But he became the trainer for the high school team. And that's where he got his name Doc. One time, when somebody got hurt in the football field, he ran out onto the field to take care of him, and somebody hollered in the stands, "Hey Doc, take care of that fellow, he's wounded, will you?" That became his name for the rest of his life. He was never called John.
There was a baseball team in Dubuque, so he came and he watched a couple of the games to see if maybe he could fit into the club. But after viewing the people who were on the team already, the team members, he told the manager that he knew he was not as good as the pitchers he already had on the team. And he said, but I do have some experience as a trainer coming from Freeport and working with the students at the high school there.
1 year later, in 1931, Doc quit the Tigers and became the full-time trainer at first Columbia College it was, and later Loras College.
Loras was his passion and his first love. My mother always said, "You're married more to Loras than you are to me," which was the truth in some aspects.
He was almost like a medical doctor, even though he never had the title or the training, but everybody referred to him as Doc.
And I watched these massive paws of hands work so quickly and cleanly and effortlessly and precisely, whether he was giving a massage or a rub down or a whirlpool treatment.
We always said, don't get cut in the head because Doc will have your head in a whirlpool. And that's true. I mean, he used a damn whirlpool for everything.
You know, playing football, I had a contusion or a Charlie horse, and I know the coach at the time sent me up to Doc to get treatment. And I'll never forget it because what he did, he grabbed my quadricep and just squeezed, and I about never felt so much pain in all my life. And he had very strong hands because back then Doc sort of believed in like a massage, and he felt that when you had a Charlie horse, you rubbed it out.
Play a lot of basketball where you're running a lot and rubbing a lot. You get some chafing, in the crotch area. We call it jock itch or whatever. Well, anyway, he had a concoction that was made up of iodine and some other thing. And then he would put that on, then quickly put this powder on. If you didn't pass out before the powder got to you, it hurt like the devil, but by golly, the old itch was gone in a couple of days. I don't know if anything else was gone, but I'll tell you what, it worked.
Great friend of all the student athletes, and sort of went out of his way. And he was a trainer and the jack of all trades. The big thing that you see Doc, he cut all the grass on all the fields.
Freshmen to come in, I think he was a kind of a funny guy, doesn't talk right, makes some funny remarks. And they'd laugh at Doc. Doc would never say anything, but when they came to his equipment room to get equipment, he would give them socks and shirts with holes in them.
You were issued 2 pairs of shoes at the beginning of basketball season, see? Some people wear out shoes quickly, you know. So they would come up with stories that were almost unbelievable on where their shoes were. And they would do it on purpose so they'd see what Doc's reaction would be. It would always be the same. You only got 2 pairs of shoes. What the hell's the matter with you? Can't you take care of them?
Bumps on little people's foreheads I can quickly smooth away. I take splinters out of fingers without very much delay.
I don't think he ever thought he would retire from Loras. I think he figured he would just stay there and maybe just drop dead on campus or something one day.
He literally lived 24 hours, 7 days a week on campus and was always at call.
I couldn't envision Loras College without Doc. Now, I can envision Loras College with a lot of other people, but not without Doc.
Well, one day I asked him, you work a lot of hours over there and you never take time for yourself. Why don't you take a week or 2 of vacation and just relax? He was so offended that I would ask that question. He stood up from the dining room table so fast that the chair he was sitting on shot out from behind him and fell over behind him. And his face got beet red, and he said, Loras gave me a job at a time when there were hundreds of men out of work who were standing on the sidewalk in bread lines. And they believed in me enough to give me a job. And he says, I owe them everything I have. He had a massive stroke that paralyzed the whole right side, and he was never able to go back to Loras.
They bring him back in a wheelchair like for a football game or at homecoming. And the thing that probably just sort of stuck out to me when those guys came down and sort of put their arm around him and gave him a big hug, Doc would, he'd be in tears.
It took probably 7 or 8 years until he became comfortable with it. We had Christmas at our house right in this living room. My dad was in his wheelchair sitting over in the corner, and I stood over in the corner and just kind of observed him, and he was watching everybody unwrapping things, and he caught me looking at him, and he took his left hand and he just swept it, and he said, "It's good, it's good." And he had a smile, and it seemed like he had a peace about, yes, his body betrayed him and he couldn't go back to Loras, and he had a lot of disappointments, but he was enjoying the little things that he could when he could.
If there's a heaven, which I believe there is, Doc's there, because he helped so many people.
He laughed easily. He never thought there was any problem so serious that it couldn't be overcome.
Love the man. And I'm sure he'll be up there telling me to hang my shoes up. When I get there, he'll be there, and you know what? He'll be telling me what to do with my shoes and my equipment. And he'll probably want to say, Tiny, you gotta work a little harder. You want to get this done, you gotta work a little harder.
I met a lot of people in my life that I admired. None that I admired more than this man. He was a humble man, he was a skilled man, he was a good trainer. Little sorrows I can banish with the magic of my touch. I can fix the bruise that's dreadful, and my fee is very simple, just thanks, and that is all. And I'm sitting here and wishing in the years that are to be, when you face life's real troubles, you'll bring them all to me.